I don't know. Maybe I'm in a very calm, gentle mood this morning. I don't know
I
what
think
to
you're
give you.
being
It's
very,
because
you're
you're
being
an
very
amazing
charitable.
human being.
This is why you're amazing, Noctis. Thank you.
Yes, you are wonderful, and you're being
also-
very charitable. And I am in a not charitable mood, so there might be that.
We do have another guest joining us.
We have a Tavium.
Howdy, y'all.
Hi, Tab. I love you all. Please don't take this as me like poofing because of anything. You know I adore you all. I have got to go though.
Of course.
This is what they do,
criticize and
folks.
run.
Oh
No,
my
This is
thank
what
you.
they do.
Panel, knock this off the road.
They got the
This is
verbal
personal,
ruler.
right here.
I love you all.
Appreciate you.
Love you.
Noctis.
Noctis, is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back?
Yeah,
Criticizing and running
this
away?
Say that as I drop down.
being charitable to dishonest misogynist.
No,
I don't know how.
Noctis is amazing. He was
Noctis is wonderful.
misogynistic, and he did it to her too when he ignored her question entirely the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You can always
then the
wave your ruler,
pers-
Noctis.
And then
I
the
was,
persecution complex that came out.
When
Y'all
he-
are against me.
When he responded to Hammy like he did, and then responded to me like he did, I was like ready to tell him he was a dishonest misogynist and drop him right then. But I was like, no, you know what?
You did well.
Thank you. You would have told him he was a
Yep,
dishonest
notice.
misogynist and dropped him right then. I was like, I'm about to channel my inner Thrayle. I was like, nope, actually, no. You guys can have at it.
We do have Corn joining us. I don't remember eating corn, but there's Corn. Hello, Corn.
Big hunk of
Can I get
knob.
your age for TikTok TOS?
Corn, are you there? Are you coming undone?
I don't think Corn is with us. Let's let Corn pass peacefully back to the comments. And if anybody does have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that, go ahead and request on up. Hello, Star Child. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Yeah, I'm 45.
And do you have a belief in a god or gods, a higher power, or anything like that?
I do have a belief in, I was raised Christian or Mormon at the LDS, whatever you want to call it, but due to different beliefs and circumstance, I came to believe in I guess you could say a supreme being.
What do
But
you
I
mean
still
by
question it.
supreme being?
It is basically above the gods and everything else that I was raised to believe.
So you believe
That
in
it
all
is
the
the-
gods you were raised to believe, plus a bigger god with sour cream.
Basically, where there's the ultimate creator, the one that created everything, I guess you could say. But I still question and have things that I want to know and understand. If that makes sense.
Do you question the existence of this supreme being, or any deities for that matter?
I do, actually. Because how do I myself know what's going on and or anything in existence, what is the point? I just kind of question everything.
Go ahead, Dev.
What do you mean by God? What is God to you, or gods to you? What's a god to you, basically?
That's a good question. And well, gods supposedly created everything that's here and around us and all of that. And yet, what proof is that? I I need to know. Can these gods come to me and tell me why, or why they created what's around us and how they did it, or any of that? Please explain. That's kind of it's just it's I know it's weird and I'm not making a whole lot of sense, but that's kind of why uh, I'm questioning things, because how do I know except what others tell me? But how do they know? How do any of us know? I know it's kind of dumb.
Okay, so
What?
look, no, it doesn't have to be done. You don't have to say that. But my question would be, why do you think that there is something that created this, everything around us? And why does it have to be multiple gods? And why is there a higher being than them all? How can you ascribe levels to them, if you know what I mean?
No, that's a very good question, and that's um, that's kind of why I'm continually asking questions and everything, and all these different stories and of gods, goddesses, and everything. Where did these come from? Who told us this? Why is there all these stories, and yet what created them to begin with? That's kind of my like I said, it's kind of dumb and ridiculous in uh, my own reality, kind of stupidity asking, but I believe that there's something even greater that created these stories and beyond what we know. So there's basically a supreme beyond these so-called gods and goddesses that created all this to begin with and spread these stories. And so it's like I said, again, it that's just kind of what I'm thinking, and it's kind of dumb or ridiculous. But that I just I want to know.
Interesting. Kat, do you want to ask something earlier?
I just want to know, why does it matter if anybody knows a thing that we can pretty well determine is unknowable, since nobody knows? Like, why is that important to know?
That's a good one. I admit that's very good, Kat. And again, like I said, this is maybe just me, but I'm very inquisitive and just uh, stupid in my own way, to where it's just like, why, when, where, what, and just I question
Okay,
everything. I
couple
want to
things.
know.
Okay, here, so a couple things. One, stop saying that like you wanting to know or you asking questions is stupid, because it's not. It's like my entire life have been told that I ask too many questions. Because I do I love asking questions, but like the point that I'm trying to make here is like we like can safely say that this idea, this God, is as it stands right now, is an unknowable thing, right? Um, be, evidenced by the fact that nobody knows. And so that being the case, why is there a pressure to know? Like it's good to ask questions and it's good to have ideas and it's good to discuss, but why is knowing the goal?
Okay, that's fair and a good point. Let me put it this way. Why I'm so questionable and just hesitant and wanting to have answers. How do I say this without sounding like a lunatic? But since I was 6 years old, I saw everything, every possible choice, every possible path, or just anything and everything that I could ever do and ever would do in my life at 6 years old. So what do you do with that? With that kind of knowledge and experience at 6 years old, where anything and everything that you do or say or would do or choose was already there, been there, done that. That's why I question everything. Because what's the point?
So you saw yourself coming up on this panel when you were 6 years old?
Yeah. The house I bought, the car, the truck, just my job, just everything. Anything and everything that I could ever possibly do in my life, no matter what house I bought, no matter what car or truck or just anything, was already there, been there, done that. Like a video game. What do you do? That's why I continually question and want to know answers.
So could you give me like what it is you're going to say in 10 minutes from now?
Unless it's a deja vu, no, I can't.
Oh.
It's up to this particular point in time that I have already been there, done that. It's
So
as I live it. It's just been there, done that. It's ridiculous and just completely confusing.
well, I'm saying like at 6 years old, you said that you saw that you were going to come up on this panel. And so, would that also then go into say
up to this particular point, and
so
I won't.
You saw all the way up until you got to the panel.
Up to this point, yes, and anything after this particular point, I'm not sure. And yet, once I hear it, and once I see it, it's weird, I know, and ridiculous.
No, it seems awfully convenient. Like if I sat there and told you that I knew everything I was going to do by the time I was 3. I knew everything, and then you asked me questions about like what I'm going to do, and I said, "Oh well, it only lasted up until I got to know you." Like that seems a bit convenient, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I know. It seems ridiculous and completely stupid, but until
it seems made up. It seems like you're making it up on the spot, right?
Suspiciously
now to
so.
impress somebody. Nobody's
No,
impressed.
that's fair. It's fair. I don't deny that. But for some reason, it's continually deja vu with everything that I live and go through.
Okay,
Okay,
It's
wait.
ridiculous.
What you're
this is
saying
different.
is you at 6 years old somehow had this flash of your entire life and you didn't retain it all, but every time you do something it feels like you already did it before.
Yes. Basically, more or less, yeah. It's it's like I've lived it, I've done that. It's just I know it sounds stupid and ridiculous and convenient or whatever you want to call
It
it, but
doesn't. It sounds like deja vu. It sounds like perpetual deja vu.
basically, yes.
Yeah,
It
Is this?
I would recommend. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Tav. Go ahead.
Usually when you get more than like 3 or 4 deja vus a week, I would recommend going seeing a doctor or something, because it usually signifies that there's a disconnect between your prefrontal lobe and the rest of your brain. Even if it's a small one, you just have to check it because it can get really dangerous. And I'm sensing that it is a perpetual deja vu. It's not like an entire flash of your life.
Yeah, it can also be a precursor to dissociative disorders.
Yes.
that's fair. I don't disagree, but it just
As you're
through
describing it, I mean, it does sound a lot like the way I've understood deja vu to be some kind of disconnect from one part of the brain to the other, where memory is stored simultaneously in long-term and short-term memory, and so it feels old while it's happening.
that's a good point. I don't disagree, but it's just odd.
Right, so what
Agree.
the guy that initially said that to you, Tavian, who's sitting right next to you, he is a doctor, so he like maybe his advice might be sound. But like what we're saying is this could be just something going on in your brain and like causing you to feel this way.
That's a good point, but how do you explain to where at 6 years old I dreamed of the car, the house, and everything that I have now at 6 years old?
I don't think it's a 6-year-old's thing. It's more of a you dreamt of yourself while you were 6-year old dreaming of everything else. But the everything else part came from, like Thrayle said, a perpetual deja vu. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And on the off case,
That's
it's not
that's
that.
fair.
On the off case, it's not that. I mean, you could have just dreamt it and then, like, worked on getting that with that thought in the back of your mind of that dream.
Yeah, that is also a possibility. Either way, it wouldn't hurt to go get a checkup.
No, I've
Absolutely.
done that. I've done that, and everything. I'm completely fine and medically normal.
Then
You went
most
to a
likely,
neurologist, said that you're completely normal. I'm sorry, Henry, go
Yes.
ahead.
well, then if you went to a neurologist and you've got a clean bill of health, then, like I said, most likely case is that you dreamt this at the age of 6, or could have possibly dreamt it at the age of 6, because the more we try to remember things, the more we end up changing it. And we just start remembering the last time we remembered that thing. But anyways, you dreamt this at the age of 6, and you liked that dream. And as time went on, that dream sat in the back of your subconscious and you made it come true. It doesn't necessarily mean that you were predicting the future of what you were going to do.
Okay, let me ask you this. I dreamt about, at 6 years old, I dreamt of a friend of mine dying and drowning in a pool, and that happened. How do you explain that?
Sometimes you get hyper. Sometimes you get a hyper analytical brain that can predict stuff. It's normal. Those stuff can happen. I literally had
Or
Jesus and Prophet Muhammad came to me telling me that my grandpa is gonna die, and my grandpa did die the same way they told me. But that doesn't mean that they're actually telling me or that they really came to me, you know. I just have this question. I'm sorry. Did the neurologist do an MRI of your brain? I'm not
Yes.
questioning your validity. I'm just nothing seemed abnormal.
They came up with nothing. They said everything was perfectly fine.
No other imaging.
No.
Okay. All right. You guys can go ahead.
That unaliving was something that happens to me, and I knew that drowning was something that happens to me. Like, this is stuff that an overworking brain can come up with without any, oh, I have predictive capabilities. Now, if you sit there and said that, like, if there was a way to prove that at 6 years old you knew the time, date, and everything of the unaliving of your friend, and had a way to show us that that was the case, that you predicted it down to the time and date, then one could say possibly, yeah, that's something to look into. This could be a predictive capability type of deal, but I'm still not seeing any difference.
so was this the same dream as where you dreamed all the other stuff?
His whole life.
Basically, more or less.
I mean, no, it's a yes or no question, not a basically more or less.
Yeah.
Basically, more or less works when you're lying, though, Cat.
Yeah, I know. It does, doesn't it? Yeah. It's okay, Thrill. You got right down to where I was going, so I'm good.
Appreciate you being here, Star Child, but I think we're going to move on to someone who can be honest, not try to just tell a big fish story that gets bigger. A neurologist
Yeah,
that
I
only
don't
does
think
an
6 years
MRI
old, I
and
had
no other imaging.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe the imaging part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
You
believe
know, at
any of
6
it.
years old, I had
Also,
a dream
if
that
I
he was going to
had
get
someone
thrown
like
off this
that,
panel.
Sorry, what was that, Tav?
I literally, if I had, I'm so sorry guys for cutting you off, but if literally I had someone like this in my clinic and every test came up normal, I wouldn't have let him go. I would study the fuck out of him. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Look, all I'm saying is at 6 years old, I had a dream that he was going to get thrown off this panel.
Or you could have just formed that memory as it happened, stored it in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Hey, y'all.
Hey there. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
19.
What year were you born?
2006.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that?
Nope.
Why did you want to request up so badly?
Oh, dude, I am so bored, and I love talking to.
Well, I have a topic, and we're going to stick to it.
He has way too much energy for whatever time it is where he's at.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
not
that's
helping with my crocheting energy.
Hello.
Hello, can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Hi, I'm 27. How are you?
And do you have a belief in a god or gods higher power or anything like that?
Not as of recently, but I always did. And then I've sort of waned on it. So I guess at this point I'm questioning, not really.
Oh, goodness. I don't know what happened, Hammy, but I'll look into it. 10 minutes. Because Hammy does not comply.
Hello?
We're still here.
Okay, great.
So, Rishi, you said you don't believe in a god or gods now.
Yeah,
why
well,
don't you believe?
it's not, well, that's not a fair assumption. I just don't believe in a,
Oh, I
in
had
something
asked if
that's,
you believe in a god or god's higher power or anything like that. You told us
no, what
that
I mean
you...
is, that's not a fair assumption to say that I don't believe. I think I
Oh,
just don't
so
believe in,
let me ask you the question from the beginning again. Do
okay.
you have a belief in a god or god's higher power or anything like that?
Yes, but I don't think I
And what is
believe
that?
in benevolence anymore.
I didn't ask about benevolence. So, what god is it you believe in?
I guess the Christian one?
So, you believe in a non-benevolent Christian god.
Pretty much, yeah.
Why? Well, actually, before we get into the why, so a non-benevolent Christian God. Have you read your Bible?
Yeah. More
From
than
beginning to
once,
end?
back to back.
I see. And do you believe the stories within it to be true and literal?
Not all of them. Some of them are clearly metaphorical. Others are meant to be parables, and others are meant to be historical text taken onto one method or another. I've read with discernment.
So, do you believe in the 6-day creation?
Excuse me?
Do you believe the 6-day creation?
No. I just don't. It's not plausible for it to happen within 6 days. It's just not. That being said, I do believe that the 6 days could very well have been a stretch of time just going along. So it's not like
So you believe the order of creation, just not the timeline.
exactly.
I see. And so in Genesis 2, when it gives a different order of creation, do you just ignore that order? Or how do you reconcile the contradiction?
Go against what I believe or don't. It makes
You
sense.
cut out for a second there, didn't hear you.
Oh, it makes sense. It's
I'm
not
sorry, which part makes sense?
it's not contradictory, it's supplementary in one way or another. And
Oh, I guess
I
you don't
don't
know which part I'm talking about, so let me clarify.
mm-hmm.
So the order of creation given in Genesis 1 being the, what is it, light, firmament, vegetation, sun and moon, animals, man and woman, right? So if that's the order given in Genesis 1, why then in Genesis 2 does it say before the plants, he makes a man, and then he makes plants and animals, and then a woman? So you've plants, animals, man, woman, and then man, plants, animals, woman. Sounds like two different orders.
And I said it's not contradictory, it's supplementary. Mostly because I feel like if man was created later on, it specifically says that man was created to be custodians of the land, the sea, and the vegetation. So it just makes sense that something was that it could very well have been that God made these things and then scrapped them, or he could very well made it and scrapped them and then retooled, or he made all this stuff, realized those things needed a custodian, and then made that. But I'm not here to.
But that would be putting Adam at the end, and Adam's at the end of the first chapter, but he's made in the beginning, chapter 2, before the plants. It even gives reasons why, like the plants aren't in the ground because it needs water and a man. So they makes the water and the man. And then it says later that it's not good for the man to be alone, so I'll make him a helper, and out of the ground he makes the animals. So it gives reasons why he makes the plants and the animals when he does in relation to the man, which further push the contradiction, right? That he makes the man before the plants, and he makes the animals after the man. But that seems to go in against chapter 1. You seem to be doing a lot of typing. Did you hear what I was saying?
Yeah. I keep meticulous notes. It's how I argue. It just helps me keep track of things.
So you're not here to actually question your beliefs, you're just here to argue?
No. Questioning an argument requires that you have a hypothesis and that you see it through to its most logical conclusion.
I see.
This entire thing isn't a matter of me questioning my beliefs in terms of I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
We'll move on to someone who is here to question their beliefs. No worries.
Okay, so I feel like you're being intentionally.
I feel like you're being really dismissive and like aloof.
Yeah. Oh, we had somebody else in request, but I guess they moved on. If anybody does have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that, and you're capable of questioning your beliefs, go ahead and request on up. They said exactly what Cat said. What Cat said, probably. But really quick, this is a great opportunity for me to thank Heather's Descent, Shell, Morgan Le Fay, also Freya, and Jace, and Becca. Thank y'all so much for helping with the goal. I appreciate y'all. We can hear you.
I know. I was laughing at Hammy.
Oh.
The comments.
The song of injustice of his restriction. Yeah, that was wild. I don't know, Hammy. The system's trying to hold you down. Hello, Rowan. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS? Rowanane? I'm gonna guess you didn't mean to join us. And now we've got a kamikaze co-pilot. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Sure, I'm 46 years old.
And do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that?
Yes, I definitely believe in polytheism or multiple gods for sure. I feel that one god is kind of a hoax in order to get people to believe in one, system or mindset of beliefs instead of feuding over what could be multiple beliefs from other guys, when I feel it would be impossible to create this entire cosmos with just one entity.
So I would ask, what's the motive behind doing that, making people believe in one God?
The motive for having people believe in one God would be to get everyone to follow the same types of beliefs and to maintain order and to follow the strict rules, where I believe that our purpose in life is we should exemplify who we feel God really should be, each one of us.
But like my other question would be, who would wanna? Who made that hoax or made that conspiracy or whatever?
Almost every religion except Buddhism.
So okay.
Not the Egyptians, not the Romans, not the Greeks, but with Muslims, Christians, Jews. Pretty much most standard religions have all come to the terms that there has to be one God to keep all of their people in control, sort of thing. But I think the mind is all, and we're all very capable of creating our own world. And
the mind is all, and we're all capable of creating our own world.
Right. And I believe we all carry a certain.
What do you mean the mind? What do you mean the mind is all?
Because we harbor, in my opinion, we harbor spirits in our mind. I know for a fact.
Spirit.
The spirit is a deceased human being that now has no place to live except on another human being's mind. I also have many of them inhabiting my mind currently at this moment.
So you're saying that memories of other people?
No. They just actually live in the mind. Like the mind is actually a universe of its own. It's when I see the mind is. Sorry.
Why do you think that the mind is a universe? How is
it's projecting? I honestly feel in one way that if every mind on the planet were to just decease all at once, the entire universe could possibly just collapse into nothingness, because I believe everything is held in the mind. And I believe that the deceased are living their afterlives in our own minds.
Why do you make all of these assumptions?
Because I'm schizophrenic, and I've dealt with the condition since 2015, and I can hear the dead speaking.
You say that you can hear the dead speaking, but you recognize your condition. How do you know that you're hearing the dead and not a result of your condition, just hearing your own thoughts?
Because I've had verifications and I've been informed that I've lived in past lives with them.
How have you been able to substantiate that verification? Is it something you can actually?
I can verify that they lived. I can verify that they have lived before because of their extensive knowledge that I don't have. And
how do you know that you haven't been exposed to this knowledge in some other way and are remembering it through these
that is possible.
These avatars.
Yeah, that is possible. It just
does it not seem likely, especially given your condition?
Yeah, I believe that could be a possibility for sure. But there's just a certain way that they speak and the words that they use that I've never had in my vocabulary ever. Like a nihilist, for example, was said the other day, and I had no idea what a nihilist was. And I had to look that one up, and I'm like, okay, I don't remember ever hearing that word before. So I do believe that
it's a fairly common word.
Yeah, I don't read too many books. Yeah, I feel that when we pass on, I'm not sure how it's chosen or how our souls get delegated to another human being's mind, but I do believe
is it possible, Kamikaze, that all of this is just an elaborate explanation that you've generated for your condition and the symptoms that you experience?
Well, I just don't know how they got trapped there. You know what I mean?
It's just it. Isn't that an assumption itself, that there's anything trapped there at all other than your own thoughts, your own mind?
It just seems more reasonable for me. It seems more reasonable for me to believe that they were in fact once souls that have passed on, and now, because we know so little about the brain, it can actually it's so vast, and it can hold, I believe, worlds inside there.
Why is it reasonable to believe?
Because there's so much we don't know about the brain at this point in time. And
how is it reasonable to assume things in place of I don't know?
They say that we only use about 10% of our brain or something.
Are you sure that that's accurate?
Yeah, because the rest of
it
is being used by
Kamikaze?
Yeah,
is it possible that that's based on pop science that's not true, that we actually use more than 10%, quite a bit more, in fact? Is it possible that your understanding of that is limited?
It could be. It could be that that's true.
If we did use more than 10%, if we used, let's say, 100% of our brain, would that mean there's no room for the spirits?
Yeah, there wouldn't be enough room for them to be able to live their lives.
So if we were able to verify that we did use more, like up to 100%
10% of what it's capable.
I'm sorry, what?
10% of what it's capable of using.
Again, is it possible that that's just bad science, just really not even based on anything?
Could be.
I think there was a movie or two that used that idea, right?
Yeah.
Lucy and Phenomenon.
Yeah, it could be.
It's not a real thing. Yeah, it's not a real thing. I would recommend you go look it up. We use all of our brain. The thing is, we don't know about, I think, 10% or less. We don't know the functions of those places, but we use almost all. I think all of it. I don't want to say all of it because I'm not really sure of it, but we use it all. Like if there's any problem in any region, even those that we don't actually know what the function of, we can see the complications of it happening in real time. One of the places we don't know the functions of is a place called Substantia Nigra. If you get a problem there, if something happened there, well, it's not that we don't know the functions of, we don't know 100% of the function of, but if something happened there, you have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. So it's not really that we don't use we use 10%. We don't know around 10% of the function of the brain, but we use it all. But again, I want to say something. What you're describing is like, I'm sorry, you have some noises.
Sorry. It's on. It's gone
What
now.
you're describing is, yeah, it's okay. What you're describing is like a textbook definition of your condition. So I'm pretty sure that if you go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, they could have a better explanation of this. But I don't think it's the dead talking to you or souls trapped in your brain or things like that. This is literally a textbook definition of your condition.
Well, then where do you think souls go? Where is heaven located?
Kamikaze, what makes you think that there is such a thing as a soul? Is it possible that there are no souls and that there is no heaven?
That's what I believe. I believe heaven is inside someone's brain and hell is inside somebody else's brain, depending on who you get delegated to.
Is it possible that there is no going on to other people's brain, that there is just an end? Is that
No,
possible?
there's definitely an afterlife. I've seen too
Why?
much. I have too much proof. I've had so many experiences based
You say
on
there's proof, but you're talking about
afterlife?
your experiences.
Yeah.
So is it possible that your experiences are not necessarily proof, especially considering that you can't trust every experience, can you?
Well, I believe I'm no different than anybody else. So if I'm capable of harboring the deceased, and I believe everyone else is as well, they just probably can't hear them.
You say harboring the deceased, but
Yeah.
yet again, how have you proven that that's what's happening?
I've had confirmations of past lives. I've had confirmations of them being with me most of my life. I've had.
Is it possible that this isn't actually what's happening, and that it is exactly as Tavium described, something more likely to do with your mind, your condition?
Yeah, but why would I make up voices and hurt myself? Because they're actually, believe it or not, it's a very frustrating condition.
You're not making it up. Just listen.
Oh, they're
real, but
they attack me and harass me like all day.
Kamikaze, you gotta let Tavium speak.
Yeah, what I'm saying, you're not really making them up. They are real to you, but it's a part of your condition. Like I said, you have to go check on a psychologist or a psychiatrist to have better understanding of this. But like, they're not. You didn't make them up. That's what I'm trying to say. If you understand what I'm saying. Are you there, or did you go?
Oh, he's muted. Sorry, I muted him to make sure you could finish. You'll have to unmute Kamikaze, but
Oh, there, I'm back.
Did you hear what Tavium said?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention on that there are male and female voices, so I wouldn't be able to project it like a female voice.
You say that you wouldn't be able to, but you've heard them before, and that sounds... Yeah. Go ahead, Tav.
That's very normal, but sometimes... Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's very normal. Again, everything you're describing is a textbook definition of your condition. It's not... they're not unreal, they're not... Like... I don't know what to say. You really have to go check a psychiatrist. What I'm understanding. Yeah, go ahead, Kat.
Can I try? Okay, so you came up here and told us that you have schizophrenia, right? You were diagnosed by a professional, I'm assuming? Do you still see somebody about this?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So you know that these are delusions.
No.
I see. Okay. Do you know, what is your understanding of schizophrenia?
My understanding that it is the levels of dopamine that are not regulated correctly through certain areas of the brain.
And what happens when these? Can you mute? I'm sorry. While I'm talking, you have an
Me?
echo.
Me?
Yeah, you have an echo.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can
Is
just
it
hear
gone?
myself and it's distracting. But so these levels of dopamine not being regulated correctly, what does this cause? Like what symptoms does this cause for you, according to your understanding?
So basically, it causes me to feel low energy and low satisfactions in life, and a low drive to do things because I'm so kind of like mentally overwhelmed or overstimulated, you could say.
So this has nothing to the people inside your brain have nothing to do with these the irregulation of your dopamine.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, so being low energy, I'm sorry, Kat, to cut you off. Being low energy and the stuff you described and mentioned, that is true. The levels of dopamine, that's also true. That's something we call the pathophysiology of it. Being low energy, being not being able to do stuff, and the stuff you said, that's called the negative symptoms. The auditory hallucinations and the visual hallucinations, and even sometimes the tactile hallucinations, which means physical touch. You feel physical touch. These are what we call the positive symptoms. You like you possibly are experiencing both. That's why I said it's a textbook definition of your condition. What I would recommend doing is going to your doctor and asking him to explain further your condition, so you'd have a better understanding of what's happening to you. But
Yeah, but
again,
why?
this is nothing new.
Well, how would he know what that would have to do with?
Kamikaze, I think here's the thing. This is not a mental health panel, so we are questioning beliefs, and it doesn't seem as we're questioning that you are doing that. So we're going to move forward. Appreciate you being here.
It's a hard condition he has. I feel very bad for him, but he really has to go check with his doctor to get a better understanding and ask his doctor to explain it further to him.
I think his doctor probably does explain it to him, and his doctor probably like really is trying to, but it's really, really, really hard um, for a lot of people to understand when in that state.
Hello, young. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Yeah, I'm 19.
What year were you born?
2006.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that?
Yes, I do.
And which god is that?
Not a very specific God, but I would say the Abrahamic God.
Have you say not a specific god, but the Abrahamic god?
That would be,
Which version of the Abrahamic god?
I would say Muslim.
You would say Muslim. Why are you saying you would say?
Because I do have thoughts and still trying to understand certain things because I do feel like I have a really good understanding of a lot of things.
Can I ask something first?
You sure can.
Are you a new convert or born into a Muslim household?
Excuse me?
Are you a new convert? Did you convert recently to Islam? Or were you born into Islam?
I was born into it.
Do you know which sect or you don't have that?
No.
Okay, Thrayle can go ahead. I'll butt in when I need it to.
Have you read your Quran?
Of course.
Do you believe it to be true?
Yes. I do believe it to be true.
Why do you believe it to be true?
These are beliefs that I've been taught my entire life, and I've researched extensively on other religions, Judaism, Christianity, other things, and I have concluded to me as myself that Muslim will probably be the best choice, in my opinion. Me is the most true.
Why do you believe it to be true?
Because of the thoughts that really go to my head. I am a very in thought kind of person. I'm in my head 24/7. And so these thoughts that I have, my questions that I answer myself, I feel like I've gained an understanding towards that side in particular.
Okay, so usually when you're a Muslim and you really believe in Islam, you wouldn't go around saying not in any specific God, but more Abrahamic God. Uh, but then when asked, you would say Muslim. I'm just wondering why would you answer that? If you don't mind.
Because I'm still trying to answer that question, as I said earlier.
Do you have a specific
I
in your head?
still have my own mental questions that I'm trying to answer. And that I do have answers for a lot of other things, but I'm still very wary. But yet, I am leaning towards that direction.
Yeah, I understand. I've been through that phase. My question would be, do you have a specific picture of God in your head? Or just an entity?
I feel like God can come in many forms, but as in, if I think of what God is, that in itself is a perceivable form. And so whatever I perceive as I think God to be, that's what he will be. Because in my opinion, I don't think he can be really have like an image. And so however you perceive him to be, that's how you can perceive him.
I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. Thrayle, can you go ahead?
You said however you can perceive him is how he is.
Yes. I don't believe that he have a specific image, but however he comes.
Where is he?
Where is
God?
I believe God is everywhere.
Everywhere. Why do you believe God is everywhere?
Because of my belief in the origins of the universe.
Because of your belief in the origins of the universe. What is your belief in the origins?
My belief is
So,
an opposite reaction. And hold on, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, go ahead. I was just wondering, have you ever heard of Sufism? Do you link Sufism? You ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, so when you were brought up in the Muslim household, did you usually hear people talk about where is God, or is God all encompassing, or is there stuff like that?
Yes.
What was the usual answer?
The usual answer in my household was that he is everywhere.
Everywhere. Interesting. Uh, okay, so do you know the hadith, the narrations of the Prophet?
Somewhat.
All right, another interesting answer. Uh,
So usually what we do is we think a lot to ourselves. This is something I've been through a lot. We contemplate a lot about how God looks and what God is, the nature of God, and how God would connect to us. What is the nature of His speech, and how is He connected? How is Islam especially connected to the other religions and stuff like that? But usually when we do that, we have our own mental image of God. But then when we look at the actual scriptural God, it usually does not confirm with that, or is usually something a bit further from that. Have you ever tried comparing your mental image of God or the nature of God to the scriptural one?
No, I have not.
Okay, so I was brought up in a very traditional Islamic household. Okay, usually when you ask where's God, the traditional Salafi strict interpretation of Islam says that He's up where, up in the sky. God is always up, you know? Usually when we say that God is all-encompassing or everywhere, that's leaning more of a Sufi interpretation of God, if you know what I mean. God is love, God is everywhere, God is the positive feelings that we get, God is the negative feelings that we get, God is always with us. So our I'm not a Salafi right now. I'm not a strict traditionalist, but usually what we say back to the people thinking that way, where did you get that interpretation from? Because in the Quran it says God is up, you know?
Yes.
So how do you uh, what's it called? How do you I'm sorry, what?
How do I compare that or interpret that or?
Yeah, how do you interpret that with your own interpretation of God?
I would say I would have to look deeper because I feel like there's a lot of things said in the religious books that are metaphorical or are not supposed to be like, oh, this is the end all be all, this is the, you're supposed to think deeply about it, or it's supposed to have some sort of context added onto it.
So you'd say that those interpretations are metaphorical,
I wouldn't say
or those verses are
specific.
metaphorical.
I wouldn't say they are metaphorical, but I say they could be.
Could be. Okay, so do you think that other, for example, the way you divide the inheritance when someone uh, passes on, is that metaphorical or is that also literal? That literal also
I would say that that is literal.
literal. My question here would be, how do you differentiate between these two?
Excuse me?
How do you differentiate between a verse being literal and metaphorical?
I would say the way it's presented. Because you could say God is up, but I could look up and not see God. You know what I mean?
I get you, but most of the verses mentioning God always say that God is sitting above His throne, and His throne is above the world. So there's about 5 or 7 verses that way.
Which could
How do you
also
approach
mean,
this?
which could also mean that it's a higher level of, I would say, dimensional plane. In not exactly dimensional plane, but higher. You know, like a higher level. I
No,
wouldn't
I
say
don't know what you mean. What does higher level mean?
like
Bigger bad guys. What is higher level?
not higher level, as in, you know, it's a metaphorical term. Like I said, not like dimensions or
Not like dimensions, not like a video game character leveling up. So, what is it to mean higher level?
I would say it's like I, I would explain it as if there's a. I would explain it as if a child knowing things that an adult is saying, but not completely understanding them, as in higher level, you know. Like the child can have that their understanding of higher level, as in, oh, it's up, it's in heaven, or, but higher level can mean a lot of many different things.
Does it say higher level or does it say up?
Excuse me?
In the Quran, does it say higher level?
No.
Interesting.
Which is why I believe that God is everywhere.
Does
And
it say that?
That's my version. That's my version of higher level.
But does it say that? Does it say he's everywhere in the Quran?
No.
Are you adding to the word?
I'm not adding, I am explaining. You see, I could add and say, well, I think up means he is sitting on top of a cloud. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not adding on what it could be.
No, instead of sitting on top of a cloud, he is the cloud. He is the sky. He is the ground. He is everything. But that doesn't seem to fit. If he's everything, then he wouldn't just be up. He'd be
not that he is literally everything, but as in, you know, omnipresence.
I don't know the difference. What do you mean?
I would find that hard to explain. But as I said,
so if he's omnipresent and it says he's up, doesn't that mean one of those is a mistake? It wouldn't it be he's everywhere, or wouldn't it be he's? Then why would it direct up? Was there not an Arabic word for everywhere?
Because, as I said before, I am not adding on to what up is. I am explaining what up is by saying up to me is everywhere.
Isn't that
a higher level?
Exactly, though. Isn't that exactly what adding to it would look like? Changing words to mean what you want them to mean when it doesn't say what you want it to.
Excuse me?
By changing words to make the meaning what you want it to mean, isn't that you adding to it?
I'm not adding to it. I am explaining.
You're replacing. You're taking away a word and replacing it with another word. Isn't that the same as adding? Or do you think you can subtract enough to balance it out?
In my opinion, that verse is metaphorical, and the way of explaining that metaphor is everywhere to me, and that's what I believe.
Tav has a question.
Yeah. So again, going back to the inheritance, you said that the verse up on his throne and his throne being above the world, you can take that as metaphorical. But when we say the son gets twice as the daughters, you say that's literal. But why is that literal, and why is that metaphorical, and why can't we understand both as metaphorical? Like the son gets twice as love or something like that.
It's reading comprehension.
Reading comprehension. Isn't reading comprehension?
That is
The word up means love.
As in, it's up to you. In my opinion, that is up to you. That is not for me to answer.
Okay. Do you have further questions, though?
And as I said, I believe that everywhere.
Hang on, young. Blake had a question.
Yeah, so you said earlier that you Well, I thought you were being very honest when you're like, this is also like the religion that I grew up in, so it makes sense to me. But, and then you said you kind of like looked around, but why a religion at all?
Because I believe that it's impossible for there not to be a God. That it is scientifically impossible for it not to be a God.
What leads you to believe that?
What did I do to believe that?
No, what leads you to believe that it's impossible?
My own understanding. When I was growing up, I was taught, don't let my surroundings influence me, and that I should think freely of my own. And so that is what I did. I thought freely about, I questioned a lot about my religion and my faith, and I came up with answers because, as I said, I am in my head a lot of the time, and I can come up with these answers to things, questions I have, and I basically connect the dots.
Do you hear that you're just saying I have answers instead of like presenting the answers? Like, what is the actual answer that you feel like you found to that says like this makes sense, or like you said that like this is there's a scientific basis to it? Like, what did you mean by that?
Well, it would start with the proof of the existence of God, first of all, because you would have to prove that God exists to believe anything, and to begin with.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, like, if you want to ask.
Yeah, but what is that proof? That's what I'm asking. What is that proof for you that it makes more sense that there is a God than there's not?
I believe that in science it says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. And that means that there physically, in my opinion, that means that there physically cannot be nothing, because nothing is a concept, and a concept is something. And so something has to exist. There cannot be nothing. Something has to exist. And that something in the beginning would start everything. And for that would be God.
Does the like law of reaction say anything about existence? To steal a quote from Kat, because this makes this so beautifully easy to explain. It sounds like you're going A, so E, F, G, H, D. Like, it's not even like in order, or it seems like there's a big jump from what you put me to, or like equal and opposite reactions to existence of some kind. Like that there's a lot of information missing in between equal and opposite reaction and how you got from that to existence, because that's about like momentum and motion, not all of existence.
Yes, and what I'm saying is, if there is stagnance, if there is nothing, then nothing can truly happen. Therefore, we should not exist, but we do. And so that can only mean that nothing is a concept thing. A concept is something, and so a thought had to exist. Something had to exist.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'll let you finish.
Something had to exist. I'm not saying that God was there before, but I'm saying that concept of nothingness not being able to happen because nothing can't happen. Meaning, basically.
But how did you arrive at that? Like, you're stacking like 6 assertions or assumptions on top of each other and saying eureka. But like just saying nothing can exist, like, how do you know that?
Because if a ball is still an empty space and then you observe it being moved, then you would assume that something moved it, because nothing can't be moved by nothing.
I'm sorry. I just have to interject here. I'm so sorry, Blake. But in the Quran, it says that God said be, I'm gonna say it in Arabic and then I'm gonna translate. قال كن فيكن فكان الشيء ما بين الكاف والنون. You said B and there was the thing between the B and the E. The thing was, so God literally creates stuff from the nothing in Islam. So how do you do that? How do you think that's God? How do you think that's comprehensible with what you're saying? Go ahead.
Because I believe that God is an explanation of science. God is a God of science. God created science.
But for the Islamic God to exist or to create anything, nothingness has to exist. You abstract nothingness. You see what I mean?
Do you see what I mean? Are you, because you're implying that nothing exists, that nothing is a concept, and nothing cannot truly exist. The zero is still a number. It's zero. Meaning there has to be something. You know what I mean? I'm trying to, because it sounds like I'm spewing out, pseudoscience, but to me, it really understands, because in that concept, if nothing happens, then that's nothing. Then we shouldn't exist. But something did happen because we exist.
So okay, let's clarify it a bit. You said nothingness cannot exist, therefore something, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that something is there because God made it there, correct?
No. First, it is
Okay.
nothing. And nothing is something. And that nothing is something is God.
No, okay, hold. You're losing me. Nothing is something.
Meaning, if you ask God a question, where did he come from? He will not be able to answer you.
Yeah, that statement is contradictory. Like nothing
You're
is
making
something.
me want jumbo shrimp.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm losing it here. You're losing me literally.
If you ask God where he came from, he won't be able to answer.
Yes. Because
Thank you,
Because
Tapian, for
God doesn't
interjecting,
know
because
some
I didn't
things.
know enough to pick up on that.
So that's something God doesn't know.
I wouldn't say that exactly, because if I came up with this solution, then God came up with this solution.
If you came up with it, are you saying you're as good as God?
No, I'm saying God figured it out
That
before me.
sounds pretty dangerous for a Muslim to say.
I'm saying God figured it out before me, because I came up with it. And so that means God have come up with it first.
You came up with it, therefore God came up with it first. That does sound a lot like you're comparing yourself to God.
I am not. I do not see myself as a God or view myself as an equal.
Okay. I want to. Yeah, I want to say something.
If a scientist says, I'm sorry.
Wait. Yeah. I just want to know this. Like, do you think that someone who's not in their right mind can be considered, like, can they be judged in the afterlife when they pass?
Yes.
Someone who's not sane, can they be judged? God judges the insane, the not sane.
What does this have to do with our conversation?
Now, I'm just asking, out of curiosity, do you think people who are not sane?
Yes, I do believe that they can be judged. In the Quran, it says that God is the most merciful.
I'm sorry, young. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but that just tells me that you've never read the Quran, because the Quran clearly says, "ليس على المريض حرج." Those who are sick or not sane, they have no judgment.
Well, as I said, some knowledge. I said I had some knowledge, not all knowledge. Meaning, I need to get back into my book. And that's okay.
Earlier, you said you've read.
To get back into my book. That's not,
Wait.
I just need to get back into my book.
All right. Yeah, sure, understandable. But earlier you said you read through the entire Quran, or did I hear that right? Wrong?
Yeah, he said it.
Are you implying that people cannot forget?
No, but this is one of the main pillars of being a Muslim, being sane. This is literally in the creed of Islam.
Well, you're implying that I cannot forget, so
I'm not implying that you cannot forget, but a Christian cannot forget that Jesus was crucified. A Muslim cannot forget that God is one. A Muslim cannot forget that God only judges those who are sane. You know?
that doesn't make sense. Muslim has a lot of rules. Islam has a lot of rules, and
Be a Muslim without praying?
I would say no.
So this is one of the main pillars that you cannot forget.
Do you know the pillars, Young?
I know some.
How many pillars are there?
5.
What are they?
I cannot say all. I do need a refresher.
So you don't remember what is the main thing that makes
No, I'm not saying that. I didn't. I'm not saying that.
Okay, if you guys have any further questions, I'm feeling like I'm losing my mind here. You guys can go.
I hear it. Young.
But do you understand
if you
what I'm
no,
saying?
we're not here for your continued monologue. I'm curious. If you don't know the pillars of Islam, how can you be
Then I cannot
aware?
say that I am Muslim. And I cannot say that I am Muslim until I refresh
I didn't say that. I wasn't finished asking my question. I'd like to get to the end. Continue. No, my question. I'd like to get to the end. So if you don't know the 5 pillars of Islam, how can you be sure that you are not questioning them in ways that you're not supposed to?
That's just not remembering. I'm not.
Is that an excuse?
No, it is not an excuse. It is, I just need a refresher. And that's an incident on my part. That's my bad. That's a flaw that I have.
If you had a refresher, Young, and I'm not going to ask you to do it, but I'm curious if you had a refresher on the 5 pillars of Islam, would you be able to question those?
Yes, I question everything.
You would be able to question the 5 pillars?
Yes, I question everything.
And so you would be able to question.
Yes.
And so you would be able to question whether it was honest.
Yes, I would be able to question that.
Interesting. What is that called again, Tavian?
Can I? Okay, I'll tell you that, but I want to ask this question first.
Go for it.
Forget it. You said you question everything.
What is?
You said you question everything, and you know what prayer is, right? You know what prayer is, correct? I'm sorry, say that again?
Yes.
So what you do in your prayer, one of the things you do something called sujood. You basically kneel down, and I'm sorry if this is a bit crude, but your butt goes up, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So, have you ever questioned why the creator of all this universe would... Have you ever questioned that?
Yes, I have, and the conclusion I've come to is I cannot answer that. That is above me.
So you're not open to questioning everything.
I am open to questioning everything, but I am open to questioning everything of things that I do not understand. And so There are certain things that I cannot question, for they are above me. I do not have that level of intelligence. I am not God.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Some stuff you don't question. You said no, and then you literally said what I told you.
Excuse me?
So you said no, I question everything, and then you finished your sentence by saying, I acknowledge that there's some stuff above me that I don't question. Do you see that?
What I mean by that is there's stuff that I cannot answer. I can question all I want and why, but that's for God to know, and I do not know what God knows. Therefore, that's for God to know, and I do not know what.
Okay, but you're not really questioning it if you don't. You can not have an answer. You can just say I don't know. But
what you're saying is,
I get it. I get it. You can say I don't know. That's completely fair. Okay, but to put a roof above your head and say no, I can't go above that. That's not really questioning. It's not really questioning.
that's
You know
not
what I mean?
a roof above my head. It's
That is literally, metaphorically, a roof above your head.
I'm not.
I cannot go to a place.
I'm finding the ceiling. I'm not putting a roof above my head. I'm finding the ceiling.
So the roof above your head.
I'm not putting a roof above my head. I'm finding the ceiling, which means I'm not saying, oh, because God is a higher, but not because God. I can question.
Are you finding the ceiling, or are you placing it there?
Excuse me?
Are you finding the ceiling, or are you placing it there?
As I said, I'm finding it. I will question to the best of my knowledge everything, but I do acknowledge.
Hang on, yeah.
I touch a ceiling. When I touch a ceiling, something I can't reach, something that is above my knowledge. I do not place that ceiling there. That ceiling is just there. And I have to admit,
it's interesting. I wonder if that ceiling is just there, or if the faith that you were raised in places it there. I'm curious about that, but I don't expect you to have that answer. Tabium has a question, I think. But
well, to answer your question,
go ahead.
I just wanted to say that you're not putting the roof, but still finding one there is literally what I was saying. Still finding one there is literally what I was saying. Or answer those questions.
excuse me. I'm sorry. Your question and his question just went. I knew.
That's all right. Yeah. I think Bats might have a question for you. Hello, Bats. How are you doing this morning?
Good.
Hello, Bats.
Young, you remember Shahada? Like, there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm saying prophet.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
yes.
Can you question that?
Can I question that? Yes, I can. I can question that.
Meaning you go above the roof or the ceiling that you found.
The ceiling does not exist until I reach it.
That ceiling that. The questions here would be like, why is there no God other than Allah? And why is Muhammad the prophet of Allah?
Firstly, I would believe that there is no God but Allah, because throughout history we've been taught, what's this something what's something big about them is not believing in false gods. Almost a lot of single God religions do not believe in false gods, and through that context, I can believe that whatever I believe in about them, I can conclude that it's true.
Who has
that I would not I would not I would not I would not question Muhammad's morals. That is a different man of a different time. I am not that.
but a man of any time has a code, correct? Does he not?
Yes. I
And
did not grow up as a,
but a man
I
and
did not grow up in the place that Muhammad grew up in. I did not exist during the time Muhammad grew up in. I cannot place my morals on his morals. And Muhammad is not Jesus. Muhammad is not
You
Jesus.
can't
Muhammad is
consider
not
his morals within the context of his time. You can't think about it within.
I can think. I can
You
think.
can't.
I can say what I would do in this situation, but I cannot say what Muhammad would do in this situation.
Fascinating. I think Bats had another question. I didn't mean to preempt you. Go ahead.
no, you get there. Gives me time to gather my questions and get them in order. Okay. Do you think Muhammad was moral in his dealings with Aisha?
That is something that I've thought about thoroughly. And my conclusion is Muhammad had a life, and not everything about his life may be written in the Quran. There are certain things that we may not know, and that is not enough. That's not a fact that we have to accept. We can question whatever, but we cannot
Okay,
judge
I'm sorry to cut
a different man on a
I'm
different
sorry to
time.
cut you off. And I apologize if this seems a bit debated, Thrayle, but I just gotta say it. You're doing the thing, this thing I really hate is if this is something I don't like, I don't know about it. Okay, if this something is bad or seems bad, I don't know about it. But if I know about it, then it's probably didn't happen. But if it actually did happen, then it probably isn't that bad. You don't know anything about Islam, bro. You literally don't know anything. You can't even come up with a thought about marrying a 9-year-old.
If
What stance do you have on Islam? You can't question anything. You literally said there's a metaphorical ceiling for your thought.
If somebody comes up to me and says that I am not Muslim for the knowledge that I have, then I will accept that I'm not Muslim for the knowledge that I have, and I do need to get back into the books.
Why do you want to be Muslim?
I do not want to be Muslim. I want to find my answers.
It seems like your answers are tethered to Islam. Is it possible that the only God that you've known, this sort of layman's Allah, is coloring your perception and holding you down to limit whatever ideas of a God you might come up with? Could you be stuck in this mold?
Islam is not holding me down. Islam is not stopping me from free
I didn't
thinking.
say Islam is stopping you.
But that is what you're implying.
No, it's not. What was my question? What was my question?
Say it again.
That this version of Islam, the way that you were raised, is limiting your thinking in what a God could be.
No. As I said, I was raised to think freely and question everything.
To think freely and question everything.
That's
What
how
does
I
it
was
mean
raised.
to question? What to think to question? What does it mean to question a belief again?
To question a belief is to question anything. If I look at a battery and I ask myself, how does that work? I will research into it. I will do what it does and what it is. That is a question. That's finding a question and finding an answer.
If you look at a battery and ask how it works, that's questioning it.
Yes.
If someone tells you that there's an invisible battery, how do you question that?
by trying to find the battery.
By trying to find the invisible battery. That's how you question it.
If I do not find it, it's
So,
if I do not find it, it's
so just to clarify, if someone tells you there's, assuming that there is a battery, and then going about looking for the invisible battery, this is your idea of critical thinking.
If somebody puts me into a room and says that it's me into a room and says that there's an invisible battery, then I will look for the invisible battery. If I do not find it,
does that make sense to you, Young? Just think about that for 2 seconds longer without speaking.
Because what you're
speaking, I said, without speaking, just think about it for a few seconds longer. You would look for the invisible thing. Someone says something's invisible, and your first instinct is to use your eyes to look over, and your first instinct is to use.
Look is
and
not
that's questioning.
Look is not included to eyes. I can use my hands. You're implying that the battery is hands. You're implying that if it's old, I could probably smell it.
You don't think to ask a single question when you approach questioning things.
Of course. I would ask them, whoa, where is it? Where's the battery? Where is it? Where's the battery? They say, I do not know. If I say, is it big? I don't know. How can I orient my hands to look for it? And they say, I don't know. Then I will look no battery.
Wow.
Because you're saying the battery is invisible, not that it doesn't exist.
Wait. I'm sorry. By your logic, someone's told you there's an invisible God, and you're looking around for it with your hands, and if you don't find it, you'll conclude that it doesn't exist, even though somebody told you it's there, or you'll conclude that it does exist because somebody told you. I'm confused. What was your conclusion there?
I will conclude that it doesn't exist if it isn't there.
So as you're groping around in the dark, trying to find this invisible God, invisible God,
I will have no indication. The indication will be me feeling the battery.
Young, what indication now do you have that a God exists?
The theory that I made in my head on the origins of the universe. Like, you're asking me these questions, and I do not feel like you're understanding. I feel like, what if it's this? No, what if it's this?
Did I say no? When did I say no?
You didn't really say no, but you jumped to different questions.
I asked questions.
Yes, that is what you do.
That is what I did. Congratulations on observing that I asked questions.
Answer your questions so you can hear my story about,
so that I can hear your story.
Not hear my story, but I let you do your thing. You ask me.
You let me do my
answers. I let you do your thing. You ask me.
You let me do my thing.
Asking me the questions. I know you cannot be getting irritated because my answers make sense to me and they don't make sense to you. That's just comprehension.
Oh, so now you're attempting to be condescending. Do you know how ridiculous that looks after everything that you've set up here? Why would you try to be condescending in some way?
I do not believe so.
Okay, well, why would you do that?
I haven't.
It's just comprehension, is it?
Yes.
Because it makes sense to me and it doesn't make sense to you.
I could explain it to somebody else and they might get what I'm saying.
They might get it because it would be a matter of comprehension.
Yes. If you read something and
so when you say that you,
somebody else, that's
I'm sorry, you're just gibbering while I'm talking. If you say that you have formulated some theory of creation within your mind to somebody else, and that is the basis of your formula, and that fits into this Islamic perspective, you think that that perspective, and you think understanding is the reason why we keep asking you questions. You think a lack of understanding is why I ask questions.
Of course, I understand that you don't understand. That's why you're asking questions.
I see.
Is that what you're saying to me?
I'm asking, is that what you think? You think that the reason we ask questions is a lack of understanding? I see the reason we ask questions is
trying to understand what I'm talking about. Trying to understand. And that's why you ask questions.
Is that what
that's why you ask questions. Is that correct?
No, it's not at all. Can you read the screen?
Yes. Can you question your beliefs? And I answered that. I said, yes, I can question my beliefs. This whole thing is about questioning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think that we are asking you these questions so that we can better understand?
In front of your face, you would denounce him. So it's not about you understanding.
That seems like that seems like a very bold, that's a very bold mischaracterization. That's a very bold mischaracterization of this entire conversation.
You did not let me explain.
No, of this entire conversation.
And that is not an intelligent
I don't need to let you explain whenever you're already mischaracterizing me.
That is not an intelligent conversation.
It's mischaracterizing someone. You think it's intelligent to mischaracterize? You
did not mischaracterize you.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't just say that if God were in front of my face, I would deny it. You didn't say that.
No, I said if God appeared in front of your face, you would denounce it, as
denounce it. You didn't deny
God, and nothing I say. Nothing I say, you will believe, and I do not care about that.
Do you think that the purpose? So you think the purpose of this live is for you to convince someone, and
No, that's the point I'm trying to get across. I'm trying to get across that no matter what I say, you will not believe it, and that's not the point of the live. The point of the live is will I question my beliefs, and I am questioning.
What have you actually questioned?
I've questioned everything. I've questioned everything. I've questioned why I'm here. I've questioned what God could be. I've questioned what he looks like. I've questioned...
Why have you not questioned his existence?
Excuse me?
Why can you not question his existence?
I can question his existence. And I have before. But I already have that answer. I've come to the conclusion that he does exist and that there cannot be a reason that he doesn't exist.
So you can't question it because you have already concluded.
Well, if you find an answer to something, that means your question stops. That means your question stops.
Incapable. You're saying that you should stop questioning. You should never question the answers.
I'm saying if you figure out what water is, then do you need further explanation on what water is? If you already know.
Should you never question again what water is? Should you never test it? Should you not have some standard?
Of course you can.
Should you not understand?
And that's when
they understand.
And that's the science.
You think you know.
And that's the scientific method.
Are you sure that's the scientific method?
Questioning over and over and over again, come up with the conclusion that this is in fact true.
Have you ever heard of phase one
Up with
Have you ever heard of phase 1, 2, and 3 ice?
yes.
Yeah, these are like newer explorations of the phases of water that we have discovered in recent times. So yes, like even though we understand that water is like two hydrogens and an oxygen, we still continue to study water. Like even water, even something as like we use daily as water, we are like that we understand the properties of it.
And we should. And we should. And I
Like
we should. And I should still continue questioning God. And for now, I've been coming up with the exact same answers. And so until I've come up with something different, I will keep saying.
Young, earlier you made a statement that if you understand something, you go to explain it. Well, I'm just generalizing. Let me know if I'm getting this wrong. But that if something understands something and they go to explain it and the other person doesn't understand, is a level of comprehension. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes.
So what if somebody has a delusion or they're in a cult or they or have some misbelief and they understand their misbelief and they go to explain it and no one understands it? Does that have to do with a lack of comprehension, or is it possible that the person's belief is misguided?
They live their life what they believe is true and what they believe that they tell people is true. And so I would say that you cannot go around and say, oh, what he in fact is saying is, because by your logic, you should question everything. And that what he cannot say, you cannot say that his false, what he has false is truly false. Because as you said, question everything. And so I think that is something that you should question.
Well, in the past, I was in a cult and I had full belief in it and I had full understanding I could at the time. And I would share my beliefs with other people, but for some reason they couldn't understand my beliefs. Is it for some reason they couldn't understand my beliefs? Is it because they lack comprehension, or is it possible my beliefs lack comprehension?
If you does that come to the conclusion that what you believe was false? Or do that they do not understand?
I'd have to question it, because if I'm understanding something and no one else is understanding it, I'd have to question if my beliefs were valid, and I would encourage other people to question if my beliefs were valid and not just believe them because I believe them. Because belief doesn't create words, create truth. It just creates belief. I can believe in Santa, I can believe in Krampus, but that doesn't make them any more true. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if I have a belief in something, is it possible for those beliefs to be inaccurate?
I would say it is possible, but also you can question because not believe you can come to the conclusion that, oh, what if I'm believing is wrong because these people are understanding? Instead, what if you went on and kept doing it and kept doing it and kept saying, then what your answers come to cannot be wavered, then is that wrong?
Well, it'd be kind of like the funny definition of insanity, like doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I could continue, but how long do I continue looking for this invisible thing and sharing this invisible thing before I doubt its existence?
Well, then you start questioning. And if you come up with the same conclusion, then that isn't really insanity, is it? That isn't really insanity, is it? That's just coming up to a conclusion. That's not something the same happening. The same happening was people denouncing what you said. That's the same happening. What's different happening is you asked yourself the question and you came up to a similar conclusion of when you joined. So are you calling scientists insane because they keep questioning?
I think the scientific method is very important, and I don't know entirely. Do you know the scientific method, the process?
Yes.
Okay, what's the process? As a
I do
refresher for
not.
people in the comments, I guess.
I do not know the exact words, but I do have the understanding.
What's the basics then? Not word for word. I can't even remember word for word.
Asking the question, testing, coming up with a hypothesis.
At what point do you give an answer to those questions? At what point do you disregard what you're questioning? Do you keep on questioning it, or eventually do you disregard it if there's no evidence for it?
Or you can question it until you're satisfied. Is
And
that
if you're never satisfied with the answer?
Then I guess you will die with no answer.
Is that a bad thing or a good thing?
I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. I would say that's something that happens to many, many people. Does that mean that it's a good thing? No, because I know that you're going to use that and say, does that mean it's a good thing? I wouldn't say that exactly. Does that mean it's a good thing? I wouldn't say that exactly neither. Two things can be true at the same time.
Like what two things could?
Two things can be true at the same time.
Like what two things could be true at the same time? Yeah, like what like can water be both solid and liquid at the same time?
We would have to test. We would have to see if that can happen.
So if you're propositioned with a hypothesis or a theory or anything like that, will you believe it before you question it, or will you question it and then believe after you're questioning? Or
Question it and then believe after. Because, as I said, there's two options. You either keep questioning until you're satisfied, or you keep questioning.
Giving you?
No. No, I'm not. I'm still researching. I am young. I'm about to turn 20. I do not have the answers to every question in the universe.
No. But then why would you believe it if you're not done questioning it?
If I believe that if I drive a motorcycle at 100 miles per hour every day, I may crash, then does that mean I should stop driving my motorcycle at 100 miles per hour? I should stop driving my motorcycle at 100 miles per hour?
Well, we have a lot of evidence itself. Like, experience is a harsh teacher. One's a fool to learn from no other. So we have to learn from other people's experiences as well as our own.
And so I should believe that I will die one day if I keep driving my motorcycle reckless like that. Or should I keep questioning and keep doing it? And keep doing it.
Well, do you have to do it to question it?
But as I said, does that mean I should keep driving my motorcycle at 100 miles per hour or not?
Well, I don't think anybody should do that. I think safe questioning is probably very important.
Then you've come to the conclusion that it has not, and that you are keep driving. You've come to the conclusion that it has not, and that you are. What you're telling me is I should keep questioning if I should go 100 miles per hour on my motorcycle.
Like, if you want to question that, it's safe there. I would suggest doing research and not doing it yourself. Like, same as like if I could question if
doing it myself.
Well, the fact that you're doing it means you believe you have a belief that it's not harmful, and I was just questioning that.
No, that's putting up to my own observation. That's making my own judgment. All these people are saying this. What if I just keep going on my motorcycle, driving recklessly, and see what happens?
Is that not what you're doing with this? Is that not what you're doing with Islam?
what I'm doing with Islam is I'm seeing and I'm realizing my answer that driving on a motorcycle is indeed dangerous. And I'm very good with my question. And that, my original thought, I've come to that conclusion. But there are many, many other things about Islam that I have no answers for and that I should question.
I know there's a pull-up Thrayle. I didn't see how that went.
Excuse me?
Oh, I was just talking to Thrayle. See how that was done now.
It went as expected. I mean, as expected from somebody who can't question the existence of their God. If anybody else does have a belief in a God or God's higher power or anything like that, and you're capable of questioning your beliefs, go ahead and request it.
Yeah, that's 20 miles per hour over the highest speed limit in the United States. So you definitely shouldn't do that.
I love the two great statement. There isn't a roof, but there's a ceiling. And something is nothing. I'm sorry, nothing is something. These two are perfect.
I just think it's very dangerous to, if you have a question, to go ahead and research without fully researching it or understanding the 5 pillars. Seems like driving recklessly without even 5 pillars. Seems like class.
I was going to ask him a question, but I think Fox are current guess was coming from, so my bad. But ask if we lost him, I can drop back down. I just was going to ask how any of what he was saying applied only to Islam, because it literally could be used to defend Scientology or Mormonism or any number of groups with which I guarantee you he would find fault. And what he used, it was wildly circular. I was going to get him to clarify that, but such is life.
He's caught in some sort of circular reasoning. I don't think he's truly questioning.
No, it looked to me like the same thing I've seen, because I did grow up Mormon. Life.
I don't think he's truly.
Various LDS guests on here that unfortunately deal with the same thing. They lose track of having the actual conversation and default to whatever the here having indoctrinated with would tell them. So the answers you're getting aren't answers from the actual person. They are the answers they've been given. Having answers from the actual person. They are the answers they've been given essentially since birth, and they don't even realize that they're not giving their own opinion. They're giving their religious opinion and taking any question of it as I think is why Thrayle ended things where he did. But I don't know. Unless the guest.
In my opinion, should have ended it when he said something.
Well, Legion, do you have?
I wish that I did. I'd love to question him, but I'm quite the staunch atheist at this point. I'm always open to every single God I've ever had anyone tell me about. I wish every single God I've ever had anyone tell me about. The evidence just doesn't back the claim.
No ghosts, ghouls, goblins. Goblins.
You know, the funny thing is, I've actually just against my own will seen a ghost before. I don't believe in them. I don't believe they actually exist. But I have had an experience that I couldn't write off to hallucination or pareidolia or whatever, and I still don't know what caused it. But I don't think it was an actual ghost because kind of convenient that ghosts almost always appear at night. When your vision is prone to pareidolia even more so than usual. there's a period, I'm pretty sure the leadership of the country wouldn't be in power at the moment because there's a throne in power at the moment because there's a lot of history that a lot of formerly existing people would have a problem with.
There is that. I think we have a few people in queue. But yeah, the poll had spoken, and clearly the guest had as well. His belief was unquestionable. I don't know if you wanted to stick around for questioning, Legion, but I can drop you down. Guest?
It's up to you. I'll stick up if you want, but if you need the space, I'm good.
We'll have you for as long as you want to stay. Let's see who we've got in queue. I might be seeing ghosts too, Legion. I don't think half of the do. One of them's got to be real. Let's see. That's 5 down. They're all ghosts. If the last one is a ghost, we're gonna need somebody with a belief in a god. Oops. Oops. Perhaps if I knock things over.
Well, Thrayle questions his belief in ghosts. Because anyone who does have a belief in God or gods or higher power, any kind of beliefs worth questioning, requesting up if you would be patient, and request. We would love to talk to you. Oh, hello.
Ayn, it's pronounced Ayn.
Yeah, it's Ayn.
Ayn. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Yeah, I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2007.
Do you have a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that?
Yep.
What god is that? What god is that?
I'm a Muslim. I believe in Allah.
From beginning to end?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Why not?
I'm not a very good practicing Muslim, unfortunately.
Do you believe the Quran to be true, the message direct from God?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's miraculous.
How is it miraculous?
Because it has like lots of miracles in it. The miracle ones, prophecies, scientific
You say it
miracles.
has miracles in it. Don't a lot of stories have miracles in them? Does this one just have more miracles?
No, I'm not talking about stories. I mean like real life miracles, prophecies, real life prophecies that actually took place. Scientific miracles, miracles. Life.
Scientific miracles.
Okay, sure. So there's it talks about an example could be the two seas that do not mix because of their salty barrier, and it talks about that barrier saying how these two seas do not ever mix in one of the verses in just a single verse.
Two seas do not mix.
Yeah, it makes mention of the two seas that do not mix because there's an invisible barrier between them, even though
because
the people
there's a hidden. Where is this barrier? Are you there? Where's the barrier you're talking about?
Yo, sorry, I had to leave for a sec.
Had to Google. Okay, so what did you Google?
I didn't Google anything.
Okay, well, where's the barrier?
So it's a metaphorical meaning. It's like a rhetorical language used for the seas not mixing. There isn't an actual physical barrier. It says that.
So
what are you talking about?
As if there's a barrier.
How is a
Because this is
metaphorical
scientific.
miracle a scientific miracle? That's a
What is it?
contradiction in
Because
terms. That's a
What is it?
contradiction in
because
terms.
I said, what about
because look at the
scientific
coincidence, right?
miracles? And you said there's a barrier that where seas don't mix. I ask, where's the barrier? You're saying it doesn't exist. It's a metaphor. Can you tell me what the fuck you're talking about? With all due
So
respect.
you're not getting the point. It's the coincidence I'm talking about. It says
What
the verse
coincidence?
explicitly says, if you allow me to finish, the verse do not let them mix, do not like,
Can you
does
read
not
the verse
the
to
two
me
C's
in
do not
Arabic?
mix, right?
Can
You
you
say
read
what?
the verse to me in Arabic?
In Arabic? I don't read Arabic.
Oh. Well, then can you read it to me in English?
Yeah, sure. Give me a sec. Let me pull it up.
How many lines is this surah?
It's not a surah. It's a single verse.
Oh, it's just one verse. Is it? There's no context to it.
It's just making mention of the two C's that do not mix.
Which are
I think the
where?
literal ayahs.
Right.
What is
Go
it?
ahead,
Ted?
Ayn, go ahead.
Where are these two seas? Like, I know the Atlantic and Pacific don't appear to mix, but they are actually one body of water. The temperature makes them appear to not mix, but they are genuinely connected. So, what are you actually talking about? Where are these seas?
He's Googling. We can't hear you while you Google. While you're off app. It just shows us a teacup and you're muted. Till you come back. Tell us about, what was it, seas not mixing.
So the
You're
verse
looking
is
for the ayah.
Surah 23. Yeah, he asked me to pull up the ayah. So
Okay, so you have it.
yeah, I have it. So it's Surah 23:53. It's let me just send it in the chat because if I leave, you won't be able to hear me.
مدد البحر لا يلتقيان, I think.
Okay.
فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان? Which two of your God's ayahs are you not believing, I think?
I'm failing to see how an observation of the oceans is a miracle.
Well, what is it in context?
It's also metaphorical and
Just
therefore not
mention.
scientific. I don't understand.
Yeah, what was that, Tav?
1 second, there's a lot of noise around me.
I still don't understand.
Miracles or stuff he thinks are miracles. One of them is, it literally says, two seas don't mix. مرج البحر لا يلتقيان. Or if you want the literal translation, two seabeds don't mix. So with what are the two ayahs that your God presented that you do not believe?
Even if we accept that premise like outright, how is that a miracle?
All right. Yeah, I put it down in the chat. Let's read it. So it's in Surah Al-Furqan. It says, and he's the one who let the two seas flow freely, one fresh and one sweet, the other salty and bitter. And he placed between them a barrier and a forbidden partition. So recently, like recent discoveries, we discovered actually the reason they do not mix, which is their salty levels. Yeah, their salty levels.
Mix definitely.
Yeah, go for it, Tav. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's a country.
Yeah, do you know why it's called that?
Not really.
Because there is literally two seas meet there, but like looking with the naked eye, you see them as separate entities, but they mix. It's just osmotic pressure salt moving from the higher concentration to the lower concentration at a slower pace. That's it.
Yeah, but that's not the two C's I'm referring to. They do mix. I'm talking about the ones that don't.
Which are?
where?
I'm pretty sure one of them is the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea. There are a few examples, actually.
That's literally at Bahrain, though.
No, it's not. Bahrain doesn't have access to the Mediterranean.
I truly feel like we're lost in the weeds. Even if you reference those bodies of water instead of the big ones, how would that be a miracle? What does it matter if they don't mix? That's like genuinely not a miracle. It's an everyday occurrence.
It's not an everyday occurrence because you have to keep in mind this verse was revealed to a person in the middle of a desert who had no access to this place, which is far,
So
far
you
away
claim,
from
but again, you have nothing to back that up.
How do you
What do
know
you mean?
he
I
didn't-
literally sent the verse. What do you
and
mean I have nothing to
how do you know that he didn't have access to somebody who did know this and tell him of it? How do you know that he didn't have people come tell him stories of things that they had
Yeah,
seen?
because what Thrayle said, because he was known to travel a lot. He went to the Byzantine Empire. He went to
didn't.
Syria. He went to a lot of places. He
He
did
didn't go to Byzantium.
before he was even 12. He did.
He sent people there. He never actually went there.
No. He went there before he was anointed a prophet or whatever.
Really? Do you have a source for that?
Yeah. Yep.
It doesn't matter. None of that makes any of this miraculous. Like,
Yes, it does.
you can call him Superman all you want. It doesn't, like, you're not providing anything other than a claim.
I provided the verse, brother. How did the book know that?
The book is getting
The book doesn't know anything. The book doesn't.
Keep in mind,
That
it's
is
not a debate.
called
guys.
Halopline.
It's the
Sorry, I don't mean to be debating. I'm just
explanation.
I'm just
No, I just
trying to
don't
get
get the point
around.
Legion is making.
I'm honestly just trying to get to the point where you're actually providing something other than a basic claim.
But
that's all.
How's that basic?
Hang on.
I'm telling you, we discovered this
hang
fact
on,
like a few centuries ago.
Hang on. You're saying that there is in this book a claim of a barrier in the ocean, right? That he put a barrier there, correct?
Mm-hmm. As a metaphor.
As a metaphor.
Yeah.
I thought
He
you were
meant
saying
the barrier. He meant the word barrier itself is a metaphor, but there is a barrier between the seas that you cannot see because of the osmotic pressure. But it's
I see.
not,
Yeah, exactly.
not a real.
Okay, so you're saying that there is a claim of a barrier in this book, a metaphoric barrier in the book.
Signifying that they do not mix. Okay, that's the whole purpose. That is the miracle I'm claiming.
The miracle is that they don't mix.
Yes.
Okay.
Chemistry is going to throw you for a real loop then, dude.
Right.
It's not a miracle.
So you've got to let me finish though. So your claim is that there is a miracle a miracle of them not mixing in this book. It's something that you think no human could have observed, no human could have told Muhammad.
So what I think about this
Thrayle,
is...
Go on. I think there's a disconnect here. He's saying, Ayn is saying that the claim is miraculous, not the thing itself. Because the Prophet couldn't have known about this before.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's a Joseph Smith claim. He couldn't have known everything he knew in the Book of Mormon, so therefore it must be true. I see.
I'm sorry. How did
Sorry,
you
what?
verify? How did you verify that he could not have known?
Okay, so logically, look. How can this man know? Either he has to be there himself, either someone else has to tell him, right?
Okay.
As far as I know, in the pre-Islamic
As far as
Arabia...
you know.
Yeah, I might be wrong. Correct me if I am. So, in the time of pre-Islamic Arabia, no one was just going, going with the ship somewhere deep to the seas, right? To see this. And this phenomenon is in the middle of nowhere. Okay, it's in the middle of the sea.
Just to verify,
Yeah.
you're saying as far as you know, no one took a ship out to sea.
From that,
Islam.
from the region, or from the people that the Prophet knew, no.
From the region of the people that
Except-
the Prophet knew.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
from his
Thrayle.
environment, no one did.
I just have to point that out. 1 second, thing.
Uh-huh.
Except a place literally called Two Seas Meeting, Bahrain. Correct?
Okay, there's no problem with them meeting, but they do mix. I'm talking about the seas that do not mix.
Which sea does not mix?
I told you the Mediterranean and the Red Sea is an example of this.
That's
Were
an
they
example.
connected before the Suez Canal?
Excuse
Were they
me?
connected in this time? Were they connected at were the Red Sea and the Mediterranean connected in the time this was written? Does that make sense?
I don't
How are
understand
the
the
Red
question.
Sea? How are the Red Sea and the Mediterranean connected?
Okay, so let me search it up 1 sec.
And is it a scientific miracle if it's describing the process of a halocline disappearing incorrectly?
Of a what disappearing?
Haloclines do disappear and mix. That it is actually a byproduct of mixing.
What is mixing again?
The line, like a saline line between two bodies of water, is called halocline, and it is a byproduct of them mixing. So how is this a scientific miracle? It's describing the process of halocline incorrectly.
How do you spell that, halocline?
HALOCLINE.
Okay.
Yeah. So also, Ayn, you have to keep in mind that this entire scientific miracle thing is a new claim, like founded about 20 years ago, literally, by someone called Zaghlul Najjar on Egyptian TV. So none of this is in any way related to Muhammad.
Yeah, I guess why? Because it was only discovered recently, and they realized that this ayah is actually talking about that. How can they interpret it in this way if they didn't know that? That's the whole miracle.
Also, to be clear, these waters do mix.
Oh.
It's just that when they meet each other initially, the difference in their salinity doesn't allow them to like integrate fully at that exact meeting moment. But they still do mix, and they still do like disperse their salinity between the bodies as they churn. It's not like there's a perfect barrier, and these waters never like one water doesn't become the other, right? These things do happen.
Yeah, it's a temporary visual phenomenon by the
I
difference.
think, and I correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this temporary visual phenomenon, like at times ebbs and flows with the salinity content of the water that is meeting. Like it's strong, like more pronounced or less pronounced, depending.
So what I'm hearing is that they do mix, but they give the appearance as if they don't mix. And if someone didn't understand that, they might attribute it to, say, Allah, because at the time there was no scientific understanding of why they appeared not to mix.
Also, yes, this is a phenomenon that's happened for a very long time. Like waters like appearing not to mix. And in the 5th, 6th century, yes, people were ocean going in the Mediterranean. People have been ocean going in the Mediterranean for significantly longer than Islam has existed. I thought you was your answer. Go ahead.
I have a question for Jack, though. Did the Byzantine Empire use ships? Did they see the
Yes,
sea?
the Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, the Greeks, the Carthaginians, the Egyptians.
That's very good. Did they ever make contact with Arabia?
Yes, extensively. And in fact, several of those empires ended up becoming what we would consider a different Arabian empires.
Wow. You mean to tell me
That's very cool. So, yeah, go ahead, Thrayle, do the knockout.
Is it that you're saying that the people before Muhammad could have had access to all of this information?
Yes.
Oh,
Much in the same way that the medical miracles that are described are just the medicine understood in the day by the Greek physicians.
No way. You're lying to me right now.
And it was wrong. To be fair, like the Greeks were wrong at the time. They didn't understand everything fully, and that's why like what Muhammad said was wrong because he was reporting what the Greeks were saying.
Oh my
I think
god.
Bats has a question.
I was wondering how the guest felt about all this new knowledge and if it at all is causing them to question their beliefs that the oceans do not mix.
Wait, I'm researching this. Actually, I have to research this. I'm not sure about that, but can we talk about the medical stuff that you said Muhammad got wrong? What exactly
Well,
did
I
he
think
get
it would
wrong?
be. I mean, I guess if like I think it would probably be more beneficial to like if we're questioning belief. I would like to ask you: would your perception of your belief change if what we are saying is correct? I think it would. Does is correct.
Yeah, if it has some, if my religion has a contradiction, definitely.
Okay.
So, what were you saying about the prophet getting medical
Yeah, there's a
stuff
couple of
wrong?
things that are like were like understood of the day when he was writing, particularly
Okay,
like
for
how
example.
the embryo forms in utero, and like
You don't have to go Jackdaw, you don't have to go there. We can just go with drinking camel urine can heal you.
yeah,
No, it
well,
was a
again
one-time miracle.
that's actually
It's
something
not
I
a
was going to say.
medical.
Like drinking camel urine like isn't actually some kind of medicinal like remedy. It doesn't actually do anything for you. It's more
Yeah, it
likely going
doesn't
to harm
claim.
you.
It doesn't claim that.
It's also
But
like another thing is like they get parts of the anatomy wrong. They say that the spurting
mhm.
fluid. This is the one that everyone knows. The spurting fluids that bring forth life, i.e., ejaculate. Um, they say it comes from between the backbone and the rib. That's
No,
not
that's not
true.
true either. That's not true either.
It is. That is what it says, but that's not where the
That's not what it
fluid comes
means.
from.
No, you're
That's not what it
interpreting it
means.
wrong.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then what's the interpretation?
Yeah.
The interpretation is
There's different interpretations for that.
so the
We
interpretation
could
for
go with
that
another one.
verse isn't a medical scientific miracle as you guys put it to be. It's just talking about the word yakhruju, right? You guys are Arabs?
I'm not. No.
Yeah, I'm Arab. You can go ahead.
Okay, you know the
I'm
word
Arab, I'm Arab.
yakhruju?
It's okay.
You know the word that yakhruju?
Yes.
Yeah, so
I know the word.
the verse
I'm a
the
native
words
speaker, bro.
okay, so the verse includes that word yakhruju. So let me pull up the verse one second.
What does it mean? No. You don't have to go. You don't have to go. Just come. Oh my god.
Yeah,
What does the word mean? What does the word mean?
it's referring to the it refers to the predecessor of what it refers. It's like a grammatical device used in sentences.
No. Wait. Hold on. No, it doesn't mean that. It just literally means go out of. Okay?
Yeah, so like from the last part. So it's referring to the last part that it mentioned.
So what is the last part? Do you know
So
what
the last
part
part
is?
Yes, but here's the thing, right? This word grammatically, structurally.
No. I want to know. I want
Can
to know
I
what's the
finish?
last part.
Yeah, can I finish?
You don't have to go into grammatically. I know grammatically.
No,
You can go to the last part first.
no, these people do not. So let me explain.
You don't have to. You can talk to me
No,
right now.
No,
don't these
what do you mean
people.
I don't have to?
I'm
Don't
tangentially
these
familiar with
people.
it, right? It's
You should really
it's
talk to
but it's
Kat.
You're
You
asking
should
me a
really just
question,
talk
not
to
letting
Kat.
me explain it.
I wasn't well like
You're making a claim that I got it wrong when you're straight out
because
lying. You're not
I'm
letting me
not lying
explain
because
it. Yes, you are.
the word I believe, and I could be wrong, right? I don't speak
It's
Arabic,
not a
but like as I'm
literal verse.
yeah, I'm not saying, but
Calm down.
it's okay. Like what I'm saying is like as it's understood and how it's been read to me and how I've interpreted and looking at like the English translation of it, it says the spurting fluid which comes from the region, and that's how I understand that word to be translated. Yahujun is the one you're talking, right? That's how that word translates, as I understand it.
Yes, but
So like,
here's the nuance, right? This
okay, so
word
then
can
what's
refer to the one before it. It shouldn't refer to the
what
last
does that mean
subject.
then? What
So
so
look,
what would in the
can you pull
context?
up the
Hang on,
verse?
can I please get the full question out? Let me ask. What in the context of this verse would it mean? The spurting fluid and the one that comes before it comes from between the backbone and the ribs.
Okay, I'm gonna explain it. So can you pull up the verse?
I'm not in a position where I can pull it up right now.
Because if I do, I'm
I
gonna
have it
leave.
memorized.
Okay, just someone pull it up, please.
Guy, I have it memorized in Arabic. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, the verse that talks about what we're talking about.
ألم يرى الإنسان مما خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب. What do you
Yes.
need from that verse?
Okay, now translate it to English.
Have men not seen from what they come forth of? It's a flowing water. It comes out from between the ribs and the bone.
Okay.
Backbone or whatever.
Okay, so have man not seen what they come forth from, and what comes next?
Is a flowing
Flowing
fluid or
water.
a spurting fluid? Yeah, or water. Yeah.
Yeah, the flowing water. What?
Comes from
Flowing water. That's what I said.
Yeah, the
Comes
flowing
from
water
between-
comes
Say the full
from.
verse again.
You could say
ألم يرى
please.
الإنسان مما خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب.
Okay, translate it one more time to English. The full verse.
Please.
Did man not see from where he came from? He came from flowing water from between the backbone and the breastbone or whatever.
Okay, so this came from is referring to the man, not the sperm.
No, it's referring to the fluid. The man
No.
comes from
No,
the
it's
fluid.
not.
Yeah,
No,
wait,
it's
hang on,
not.
but because it precedes that, right?
No.
The man comes from the fluid.
Exactly,
The fluid
that's what I'm saying.
Hang on,
That's what
hang on,
I'm
hang
saying.
on,
The
hang
word
on.
I'm sorry.
yakhruju does not.
Hang on.
I'm sorry, Jack.
Hang on.
One
Okay.
second.
Yeah, go on. You didn't let me talk. Speak. Why did you stop speaking?
Go ahead, Jack.
Well,
You can be a bit polite, right?
They'd be grammatically nonsensical. There may be a delay between us. They'd be grammatically nonsensical, right? You're saying
No, it's not.
So the verse says, "Does man not see where he comes from? He comes from the fluid that comes from between the backbone and the breastplate, or the breastbone, or whatever it says." It roughly translates to ribs.
Okay, so you did not say it word for word. When you put it word for word, that's why I mentioned the word.
I said it. Oh my god.
Holy.
we
Can I finish?
Oh,
Why are you
God.
being disingenuous, bro? Be patient. What's wrong with you? He literally asked me a
So
question.
rude to the person who just like.
Always be more polite.
Because
you know
you're
that, right?
actually lying right now.
Because I'm
You
not
did
lying. You're the
say
one
it
lying.
word for. How am I lying? I
Jack-
just began to speak. Shut up, you petulant child. Calm your shit down. Stop.
Jack asked
Don't
me a
unmute.
question.
I didn't invite you to unmute. Don't unmute. Calm down. It's time for you to take a breath. It's time out. You can't behave yourself like an adult. You can't hang out amongst adults. Why don't you just calm down and wait for a question?
Okay, I've actually pulled up the text, and I will read it verbatim as it's translated from Arabic to English, because I can't read Arabic, so I'm sorry about that. They were created from a spurting fluid stemming from between the backbone and the rib cage. That's what it translates to.
Okay. Now this word yakhruju, it shouldn't necessarily refer to the word that precedes it. Here in this context, you can have the interpretation which many scholars do. I can quote them. They interpret this word yakhruju as referring to the man and not the fluid. This is a perfect grammatical thing in sentences.
You know, I think that we
Okay,
should listen
so
to what
can I
Tab says
interpret
about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who says about what?
I don't know if you know this. What I say about that.
Okay, go on.
About that.
Okay.
I know what that word means, and in this place, what does it mean? And I also read most of the interpretation books. Okay, so what that word means came out of what it refers to, the fluid, because the fluid cannot just you can't just say يخرج من بين الصلب and just refer to the man, and the fluid can just does whatever it does. It does not work like that. You're making the sentence gibberish. Okay.
I'm really not.
You are.
Look,
That's
the
what I was-
sentence.
That's what I was trying. That's what I'm trying to elucidate
Okay,
for you. Like, if
let
the
me-
sentences are structured in such a way where it talks about, does a man not realize where he comes from? The flowing waters or the spurting fluid, right? And then it says that comes from between the backbone and the rib cage. If you're saying it's saying that man comes from between the backbone and the rib cage, the entire section about adding the spurting or fluid or flowing water is gibberish. It's not, and water is gibberish. It's not, there's no reason for it to even be in that sentence.
Okay, so I just want to mention something. Can I talk to one person at a time?
In just a moment, yes. But before you do, though, I need to thank everybody for tapping the screen. We're at 112,000 likes. If we all just tap a little bit more, we can probably get someone else who might question their beliefs. Something I don't think Aang has done since he's been up here. Bats does have a question, though, so go ahead, Bats.
I'm listening to everybody talk about the seminal fluid, and I guess my question is to the guest, who should we believe more in this endeavor? Should we believe someone who speaks Arabic, who can recite it, who knows how to translate it into English? Or should we listen to someone who hasn't read the entire Quran, doesn't speak Arabic, and only learned from other teachers, not directly from the book itself?
The question was for you, Ryan.
Yeah, so as I asked, and I talked to people one by one.
Yeah, secondhand information is notoriously unreliable. It's best to go to the source, which Tav has done in going to Arabic. Shouldn't we take credence to what he has to say, because he's the only one here who speaks fluent Arabic, has the verse memorized, and can translate it into English?
You definitely can, but I can't quote scholars, linguists who know better than him, and he's probably not even speaking Fusha. He's probably speaking in dialect of Arabic. I can quote scholars that... He's literally swearing at me right now. You guys don't understand. This is how this is.
I am not swearing. I literally said I've read all the interpretation book, and I can talk.
You just called me an animal, bro.
I did not.
Or you? No.
Bro, you said
You don't know Arabic, so like, why are you talking?
Because I know a few words. I heard that.
Hang on. Is there the chance
done.
that? Okay, I was gonna say, is there a chance that you situation?
Don't give him any credit. Like, why are we being charitable to like disingenuous people?
I was gonna say.
He said
Because we're not trying to debate them, and it's sad.
He said you can't speak standard Arabic, so I just told him that I know how to speak standard Arabic, and he said you called me an animal. So I don't know what that is.
But he's learned from scholars, so he must know.
I've also learned from scholars.
We got off. That's not the. I didn't think we were gonna debate the fucking word Yashijun there. What I was trying to point out is that was the knowledge of the day. That knowledge, that what Muhammad wrote in the Quran coincides with what physicians were reporting at the time. They were wrong, right? But that's what they thought. So, like, the expectation there is for, like, I guess I don't speak Arabic, so I can't really critique him that heavily on it. But, like, if the expectation is that, like, he is telling me that this sentence is structured, that I'm misunderstanding the structure of the sentence incorrectly, I would need him to be able to elucidate how the sentence is supposed to be structured and understood.
Jackdaw, he doesn't speak Arabic, so he doesn't know.
It's standard apologetics to shift the meaning of the word rather than addressing the actual problem that's brought up. It's just a shift tactic. He used the whole line of questioning to dodge answering Kat's original question.
The interesting thing is, in the comments, he said, "I can debate you. I can break you on a debate, 3-on-1."
But this isn't a debate.
Bro. Yeah.
I actually ran into this situation with the Book of Mormon, because they make very similar claims about how Joseph couldn't have known what, all the different things that went into the Book of Mormon. It just wasn't available to him at the time, and he was an illiterate farm boy or whatever. And then it turns out, if you do the research, that the story around the coming forth of the Book of Mormon, the story that Joseph tells about it, almost directly mirrors the actual coming forth of the Book of Enoch. like to a scary degree, down to the whole plates in hills and all of the rest of it. And I had never heard this, like even having researched like for a decade and a half while I was deconstructing, I had never heard of the connection between the two until like 3 or 4 days ago. And at least in the description that was given, it becomes very apparent that yes, the information was available to Joseph, and not only to Joseph, but to people who wrote very similar books with very similar storylines to the Book of Mormon around the exact same time. Like, it's just, the basic claim that they make, not only about him but about Muhammad, is they're prophets. How else could they have known this stuff? Almost any other actual way.
And to say that people hadn't been to where the Mediterranean and the Red Sea meet in the Middle East at that time, when that was one of the biggest trade routes of the time, is like crazy and like uneducated on the history of that time. Like I don't even know much about the history about that time, but I know that much. That trade routes were very important back then. There were ships that went across the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, but like, I just encourage everybody, if you believe something, please read the book for yourself. Don't take secondhand information from scholars and just think you can debate anybody 3-on-1.
Well, and you know who trade routes were really important to back then? Or, always merchants.
I was about to say the same thing.
Warlords.
So, there's that.
Well, so the entire, I didn't even want to get derailed on the medical stuff. What I was trying to say was like, what I was hoping to ask would be, is it possible that you're making unnecessary assumptions that require more baggage on your worldview? Believe that this just couldn't have happened, couldn't have been known, is some kind of like medical miracle or some kind of miracle of the text? Or is it the case that these things coincide with the knowledge that was common in the day, or maybe not common, but the knowledge of the day in like certain spheres, and that's what ended up getting reported?
Jack, I saw you a lot in political lives, talking with trumpets and stuff. The thing is, you know how they parrot like talking points without thinking them through? This is literally the scientific miracle stuff. It's a brain stopping, it's a thought stopping stuff they use.
Yes, 11 minutes and I'll be back in my little hellhole of my own creation.
Regardless, we did have a guest that was unable to question their beliefs and instead turned what they couldn't explain into miracles. But if you do have a belief in miracles or gods or higher powers or anything like that, and you are able to question your beliefs, unlike the previous guest, I would encourage you to hit that invite button. We have a box waiting for you, and we're definitely excited to hear what you believe. And hopefully, please read your books. Like, if you have a holy book, read it.
That's a silly suggestion. I don't know why you would. Yeah, I don't know why you would think that that's needed.
It's a lot of work for me to have to do is to read. Oh my god, I can't imagine.
I'm always amazed at how many people come up having not read the book, and yet they want to tell us basically that we're going to burn in hell if we don't follow the Cliff Note version of whatever book they're talking about. I feel like before you damn humanity, we might want to actually read what you just said.
I just have a question. So, like, obviously you might be slightly biased because I think you and I come from a similar position about this. But the word, that sentence there, it's Sarah out. It's what, 6? I can't remember, 6-8, something like that. Talking about the spurting fluids, right? That word there, like, as I understand it, obviously I don't speak Arabic or read Arabic. It couldn't be like there's no way you could like funkily rearrange the grammar there and have that word Yahajun, like the coming from or proceeding from, be anything other than like how it translates out, right? Like in the context of that sentence, it's like it's talking about man comes from fluid comes from this area.
Yeah, it's literally that way. You can when I said there's other interpretations, I meant that people usually go with the rib cage is usually referring to the woman, and the back
Yeah.
usually refers to the man because
Yeah, that's what that's
there's
the
other
one I've heard
interpretations.
most as well.
Yeah, but the water comes out like the comes out refers to the man. That's just gibberish. There, no one in the history of humankind ever looked at that sentence and thought that this might mean that.
That's what I thought, because when he was saying that, I was like, either I am woefully, which is super probable that I'm woefully misunderstood on these things, or I, this poor fool is woefully misunderstood.
Look, there's like I said this to Thrayle like a million times ago. There's a gazillion translator and interpreter, and then you put another layer of interpretation and translation to English. So there's multiple meanings to different words and different sentences and verses and ayahs and stuff. It's really complicated, but like this one is clear cut as it gets. You can't jiggle it. You can't rearrange it the way he did. And also, like this is one of the things that really made me laugh. I was taught by the scholars, dude. I was a student of knowledge back then. I left because I didn't like the things they said. It's not like I'm learning it now. I literally was raised in this faith.
in Christianity, and I thought I had the truth. And because I thought I had the truth,